JD here in front of the most boring advertising campaign I've ever seen for an election. This is on a main road on the Gold Coast, and look behind me here. Does that really make you want to vote for that guy? And when I turn around here, there's other examples of littering on the fence here. And I was only saying to Gail, my wife, I can't believe this election. It's the most boring election I've ever seen. Gail, what's your view?
Well,
I'll put that in the background. So
they also look like pretty boring.
yeah, they look like very boring faces. Let me have a look. I'm sorry, Bert, but yeah, it's not really turning me on. And Des, I'm sorry about that, mate. It's not turning me on. The reason I'm being sarcastic about all of this is that this is the level of sophistication that these people have for marketing themselves. So by the way, the other thing I have to say to you is that it doesn't matter whether you're Labor or Liberal, they're both as bad as each other, and the Greens, they're all boring advertising campaigns. This is on just the main road. Now, can you imagine if you had a fish shop and you did that? The local council would be fining you, I'm sure, quite a bit of money. But these people, like if you have a look across the road there, you can see some other ones, okay? These people are getting away with literally littering, that's good, isn't it? Literally littering the side of the road. It's just nuts, isn't it? Can you imagine, Gail, if you had a business and you did that, do you think the council would come along and say, excuse me, you can't just put signs up on the side of the road?
Yeah.
But what are these people doing? Yep, you can't hear Gail, but she said she assumes that they didn't get permission. I'm not assuming, I know they wouldn't have got permission. Now, I don't know whether there's any special bylaw in the local council rulings that you don't need permission to litter the streets like this, but it's just nuts. They're everywhere, yeah. So anyway, look, the reason that I'm bringing this up, of course, I was asked some time ago if I could give some thoughts on an election campaign. It was a state election, and I said to them at the time, look, they just have to take a leaf out of Gough Whitlam's book from what year that was, back in the 70s, or take a leaf out of Barack Obama and have a wow factor, have a gosh factor to the campaign. Barack Obama's was very clever. It was yes we can, and Gough Whitlam, if you're of my vintage, you can remember back in that unbelievable campaign, probably one of the best political campaigns in the history of elections, and that was It's Time, Gough Whitlam with It's Time. And the crazy part about it is none of these parties at the moment are looking. This is the most boring election since Rudd and Abbott.
There's one down there that says, he's your local voice.
Yeah, let's walk down and have a look at it. What does it say?
Your local voice, that's it.
It's your local voice. Yeah, okay. I've got to show you that, yeah. It's down here. I don't know whether we'll... Look, one thing I have to say to you, if you're a business owner, first of all, you should be a little pissed off the government, sort of candidates get away with littering the streets when you can't.
Yeah.
Because I can absolutely tell you that if you were a retail business or any sort of business and you decided to just whack, a little trailer with some signage on at the side of the road, I bet you that council would come along pretty damn quickly and tell you to take that down, otherwise you'd be fined. But in the mode of election, I don't know. I'm sure that these people don't get permission to do all this sort of stuff. And here, look at this. Now, if this is not a compelling advertising sign to make you vote for Bert, I don't know what is. There you go. So here it is. I'll run up a little bit closer so we get to it quickly. Okay, so does that make you want to vote for Bert? I think it does, because why? He is your local voice. Are you going to vote for Bert?
Well, actually, I don't know.
He's your local voice.
I don't know what he's going to
Yep, no, well, he's your local voice. You've got a Bert for him.
tie.
I've got to go to bertwhateverit.com. Gorgeous tie too. Let's have a look at.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yep, that's very becoming. I'm sorry, Bert, I'm making a bit of fun of you, mate, if you're watching this. I don't know that he would be, but again, this trailer has just been put on the side of the road, I'm sure without any permission at all, and they're getting away with it. Gail, what have you got to say at the very end of this?
Well, actually, I'm going to have a look at his website, because that's going to be a really interesting thing.
Okay.
See what he's going to give us.
And look, I'm sorry for being sarcastic. It's unlike me. I'm not normally sarcastic, but we were driving. It's a lovely holiday here on the Gold Coast, as it is right around Australia. We were just driving around, and I said to Gail, look at this littering of signs all over the place for the election. And they're getting away with it. Any other business that did that, they would be fined. I'm sure they would be fined. They'd at least be told to take it down. Anyway, I'll get out of here. But if you are in business and you own a business, for God's sake, don't go putting signage up which just says, what is it? I'm your local voice.
Your local voice.
The government, the parties have to join my program. They've got to join direct response I mean, the way I look at it, instead of just having the same old standard signs that have got their face with vote one for me or I'm your local voice, why wouldn't they say, I'm going to build a hospital, I'm going to build 3 more schools in the area, I'm going to do something that actually is a promise, not just we're your local voice. I mean, direct response marketing is all about problem solution. So why don't these guys take up that mantra and say, look, we know your problems in this particular area are this, that and the other. You don't have enough schools, you haven't got a hospital, we're going to fix that. It's just and why don't they do some sort of different signage? If they're getting away with what I think would be illegal, and that is putting signs just wherever they want, why don't you have a cardboard, it's not a cardboard, but a cutout, like a die cut photo of you next to a hospital that's been cut out, so it's not just the normal rectangular sign. What was that, Gail? Can you say it again?
I said that sounds pretty great.
Ah, well, there you go. I've got a fan.
Oh, look, I've got a fan.
Okay, righto, guys. Look, if you want some help with this, you might like to come to one of my seminars coming up. Then there's a 2-day event coming up on the 3rd and 4th of May here on the Gold Coast. Do yourself a favour, go and get some free tickets and come along. You'll learn how to use direct response marketing and not make the same mistakes that these silly political parties are. All the best, guys.